Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with Jason Caceres for an interview. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. Could we start the interview with you telling us a little bit about you?
Yes. So I am primarily an actor. Sometimes I do some modeling, but I live in Los Angeles, California. I'm originally from Miami, Florida. My parents are Cuban, so I'm first generation American. I went to school for theater at Florida International University, where I got a Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree. And then I actually went back and got a master's in business administration from Western Governors because I was like, what if I can't find a job with
Yeah.
theater? Um, so I got a business degree. Still couldn't find a job with that anyway. Um, but then I
I'm
moved.
currently studying business myself, so
Oh,
yeah.
it is very tough. The master's program was so difficult. So hats
Yeah.
off to everyone who can
I'm not
make
at
it.
master's level, but I'm at, yeah, I'm starting at the business level, so yeah.
Okay. Do you have like a business that you want to open, or is it just like a general? Because I didn't. I was just like, I'm just general business.
Yeah, me too. That's where I'm sitting at, yeah. We have to start our own business with the course. Our teacher's making us start our own business.
Okay.
So we're doing that at the moment. There's a group of like five of us, and we all have to start one. So we started that process. So
Oh, nice. Okay. We had to do the same. I did a fictitious bicycle business.
we're,
Go
we're
by Marie.
making products and stuff at the moment as well for our business. So
Oh, nice. Well, I hope it goes
yeah,
well. Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Um, so you've done stage, film, TV, web series, commercials, and videos. Is there something you haven't done yet that you would love to try?
Um, oh, that's a great question. Is there something I haven't done? No, I moved out here about 13 years ago to pursue acting. And I've never really had a full-time job. So I've pretty much been a freelance actor for about 13 years. So I feel like, as you mentioned, I've done anything that pays, and sometimes
Yes.
things that when it comes to acting. But
Yeah.
anything I haven't done, I mean, I would love to be in a major franchise blockbuster, something like a Marvel franchise or
Oh, yes.
even Fast and the Furious franchise, something that says job security
Yes.
would
Yeah.
be great.
Job security and Marvel. It's a win-win.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
something like that where it's like I can shoot one movie, maybe like 6 to 9 months out of the year, take a break and come back and shoot the sequel and then come back and shoot the third part.
Yeah.
So that would be great. But as far as like a genre or something I haven't done, um, huh, I don't know. I really like doing music videos. I know it's the question is something you haven't done, but I've done so many cool music videos and gotten to meet so many cool artists.
Yeah.
Um, there's so much less stressful
Yeah.
than any other kind of acting job because you have to memorize lines and if you're doing like a film or a TV show, you have to memorize blocking. Music videos are kind of about like a vibe and a flow.
You wouldn't have any
So
dialogue, would you? So
no, exactly.
yeah.
So it's kind of like more about emotion and like movement and it's more emoting
Yeah.
than acting. Maybe produce a music video. I haven't produced a music video.
That would be cool.
That would be
That
cool.
would be cool. Yeah. Any artists that you'd love to do that for?
The first thing I wanted to say was Sabrina Carpenter, but I don't
Yeah.
think I could. I mean, her music videos are so artfully done that I don't think I have the qualifications to even attempt to produce a Sabrina Carpenter music video. There's so many classic references and like references to horror films and pop icons and old Hollywood. Her
Yeah.
music is very intricate. I'm
Yeah. Okay.
obviously so Sabrina Carpenter would be the first one, but I think like a grungy femme rock band would be cool too.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I just
My
have one.
favorite group is Home Free. Have you heard of Home Free?
No.
They're an a cappella group. They're
Okay.
incredible. Yeah.
Are they? Is it kind of like original music or do they do like covers
They
or
do covers and originals. At the moment, they've just put out an album of sea shanties. So,
okay, home
yeah.
free. Write that down on my trusty little iPad that I've got right next to me.
Like, you know who Pentatonics is?
Yes.
Yep. So
Yes.
they won the sing off after Pentatonics. So
Okay. Pentatonics is incredibly talented. So if they're like on the same level, then they must be
they're
amazing.
not as big as Pentatonics, but they're my like I love Pentatonics myself, but they've been labeled country, but they can do anything. So they're more
Okay.
my vibe. They're more my vibe. Yeah,
Got it. I'll have to look them up.
definitely, definitely. Okay. Um, Beyond acting, what causes and communities, or yeah, do you hope to uplift?
It's definitely no secret that I am a member of the LGBTQ plus community. So definitely want to uplift and do right by my community just because they've done so well. They've been so kind to me and followed my career and kind of they're my niche, I would say. So that's kind of my target audience. I definitely, especially nowadays where I am currently living, things are getting a little rougher for my community. So I would love to do anything I can to help uplift and kind of bring some humanity back to our community and the world's perspective because for some reason we're being demonized for things that we don't align with. So definitely the LGBT community. I'm also a huge advocate for the disabled people community, people with disabilities. I have a very close family member who is disabled,
Me
so
too. Yeah.
watching that struggle is, very hard and very difficult. And I think people are kind of careless sometimes when it comes to
Yeah.
that community.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that you also have a family member who is
That's okay.
disabled. I understand how tough it is. Um, so the my heart belongs to those two communities.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And they're both very worthy ones, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Yes, and of course, I would be remiss to say the Latino community because I am also Latino, but I forget. I
You just forget
say
that part.
that I say that all the time, and people are like, "How do you?" Because my parents don't speak English, and I
Yeah.
forget all the time that I'm Latino. And they're like, "But you talk to them like 3 times a day," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's just like it's such a part of who I am that I don't see it as like a label." So I'm like, it's
Yeah.
just I forget the Latino
Mm.
community as well.
Okay. So did you get like, so your parents don't speak English. So did you learn to speak English yourself or did you get taught that as a child?
As a child.
Okay.
So my parents immigrated here from Cuba back in the late 80s.
Yep.
I was born in the 90s. I will not specify what year of the 90s. If you want, we can do that research. I will not incriminate myself. But so they came over, they did not speak the language. Luckily, I was born in Miami, Florida. So my elementary school was bilingual at first because a lot of the kids are children of immigrants and Spanish is their first language. So they teach you Spanish and English. And then
Okay.
eventually, as you graduate on to like middle school, high school, college, it switches to just English. But
Okay.
it's something I learned in school and through television because I grew up watching a
Yeah.
lot of television.
Yeah, I was speaking to Tristan the other day and he said that he learned English through Eminem. He just
And
listened to Eminem songs and learned English that way.
I would not recommend learning English from Eminem.
Oh, he loves it and he's getting good at it. So I mean that's good.
Yeah.
You've learned some
That's
explicit language through Eminem.
yeah. Well, he learned all the useful ones that you need
Yeah.
in the States, I guess. I have not heard something that funny in a while.
Oh, I love it though. But his English is getting better and it's pretty good, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a common misconception people have about queer actors?
I think a common misconception, the most common misconception is that we can't play straight people. The
Mm,
minute for some reason you come out as gay or you label yourself as part of the community, the perspective kind of shifts on you And you see it almost instantly too. Um, People start second guessing your actions, your vocal quality, your mannerisms. Um, I've seen moments on set where people are like, okay, well, and this wasn't a note before I had come out or someone else had come out. They're like, okay, well, now it's reading a little too gay. It's like, oh, that's funny because before I mentioned I had a boyfriend, you never said that. So
Yeah.
it's funny. So I think that's the most common misconception is that once you're out, then there's a whole demographic of characters that are just not available to you anymore because no one will believe that.
Even though you
Funnily
played
enough,
them before.
yes, several times, but it doesn't seem to matter. However, straight people can play gay and nobody's like, I don't believe it because they're straight.
Yeah.
It's a character. We're acting. We're not
Yes.
actually those people. I
Yeah.
mean, could you imagine if some of the actors who play these evil, horrible
Hmm.
as characters were were actually like that?
That's right. I've seen so many things on like fan pages, not so much from the fan pages that support you guys like we do, but like the people who just watch them. So many people keep like looking down on you guys because of the characters that you play. And it's like, but that's not them. You know, they're completely different off screen. Like that's not them. So,
Exactly.
so I see
To
it a
that
lot.
note, I will say that some of the women that I've worked with who have played the meanest characters, specifically talking about the verticals now,
Yeah.
have been the nicest people on set, more so than some of the people who play the nice ones.
Yeah. We'll
I'm not
admit.
gonna go. But yeah, they're just characters. We're not who we play. So I think when it comes to queer people, that's the biggest holdout I would say is that people don't believe that we can play straight characters once we've been outed or outed ourselves.
That's disappointing, but yeah. Okay. What keeps you inspired as an actor?
The fact that rent is due every first of the month and I've got to pay those bills.
Very honest answer.
I'm kidding because I'm well, half a joke. There are obviously many other ways to pay your rent, many other jobs. But I would say that I don't think I could see myself in a 9 to 5 office job. Um, More power to people who do that work. I can't. I'm just so fidgety, and I feel like I have some like undiagnosed ADD. I think because I can't sit still. Um, that I just can't see myself anywhere else but somewhere in the arts field.
Yeah.
My parents were always very supportive of the arts. My mom was a dancer in Cuba. Um, I'm trying to link my dad to the arts, but I was like, he was kind of a slacker and a bit of a pothead. So
He's just supportive.
he's
He's
just a
just a
very
support.
supportive, nice guy. He's the best man on this planet, in my opinion. Um, but I I don't know. I can't explain it. It's kind of like a this like invisible string that just pulls me towards acting and the arts and modeling and drawing and it's I don't know why I keep doing it because sometimes I want to excuse my language bash my head against the wall because I'm like
Yeah.
anything else would be easier literally anything else would be easier but it's like a passion like I
Yeah.
have to do it so it's the I guess most eloquent way that I could express my emotions is through the art of embodying a different character. And it's actually kind of cathartic too, because some of the words that these writers write um,
Mm.
are exactly what I'm thinking in some moments of my life. And there are some scenes where I'm like, oh my God, that's why I was mad, because that
Yeah.
person said exactly this. So it kind of helps me work out my inner demons. It's almost like therapy. that I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
paid to do instead of me paying a
It's a
therapist.
bonus.
Yeah, it's a bonus. So I would say it's kind of like a natural draw, but I can't really
Yeah.
pinpoint why I continue to do it or why I'm still inspired by it.
You just love it. You just
I
love
just
it.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, what helps you connect with a character?
I like to bring a little bit of myself to all of my characters, just because we're so multifaceted and multidimensional people that even if the character is physically written like the complete opposite of who you are, their words, their emotions are all things that you've experienced before.
Yeah.
There's nothing new on this planet. Everything's been said, everything's been done. Some iteration of some scene that you has been handed to you has been acted out, whether in your life you've seen it on TV, it exists.
Yeah.
So I like to bring myself into every scene and every character, because there are moments that even as wild as the verticals get, if you
Mhm.
take away all the actions, the slapping, the punching, the biting, the all of that, the core of the scene is something that you can emotionally connect with because they're all about love, they're about betrayal, they're about power, they're about money, and those are things that we all deal with on our day-to-day lives. So the
Yeah.
easiest way to connect to a character is remove all of that superfluous activity that's added onto the scene, because that's just genre at that point. Like the slaps, the fighting, that's vertical genre. The like subtleties, the smirks, the everything, maybe that's like network television. The It's all just
Layered.
coded genre, layered with genres. So if you strip all of that and get to like the core of what the scene is about, it's something that you've dealt with in your life. I can 100% guarantee that. No matter how
Mm.
wild the scene is,
Yeah.
when you get to um, the subtext, it's definitely something I've lived in my life before, and I'd like to come at the scenes with that
Yeah.
first, that level of understanding, and then we can amp it up and be more campy and be more wild, be more comedic, or like turn it down and be a little bit more dramatic. And that's where the playful energy comes from. But you have to have that base layer of understanding in order to be able to turn those notches up and down.
Yeah. That's a
If
good
that
good way of explaining that one. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. It's
Um,
all that I talk to myself in my head a lot, so I've already worked this
you've
out.
had this conversation before.
Yes, yes, especially in the shower. Huh, why did that scene touch me like that? Oh, because when I was 14.
And then you'd be like, I know how to answer that question next time.
Yes, exactly.
All right. How have queer stories in media evolved since you started?
Ooh, that's a big one. Okay, so when I started queer stories, and not to get all very like dramatic or like, downtrodden, but queer stories were basically about abuse and
Yeah.
trauma. So, queer stories have traditionally been about coming out and not being accepted, coming out and being kicked out, coming out and being abused, coming out and being beaten up. And then eventually the character is diagnosed with some sort of HIV/AIDS and dies.
Yeah.
So it's always been very traumatic, very death oriented, very punishment oriented. So gay and the concept of consequences have always been very tightly interconnected in media, at least at the beginning.
Mm.
You were not able to tell a queer story without the queer people in it suffering dire consequences every single time. Thankfully, that is starting to change
Yeah,
because
it is.
being queer is just a part of our identity. It's not who we are. Like, sure, there are sad moments. And yes, queer people do have to come out less and less so now because it seems kind of like, hopefully, things are getting kind
Mm.
of bad here. But hopefully, we get to a point where you don't have to come out. It's just like, little Tommy came home and Billy's his boyfriend today. And it's like, okay, cool, whatever, it's normal.
Yeah.
Um, but queer people also experience joy.
Mm.
We experience anxiety. We're nervous wrecks. We like to have a good time. We fall in love. We do get our hearts broken. Yes, some of us get sick. Everybody gets sick, but we also heal. And
Yeah,
healing is a wonderful story to tell also. So I
it
think
is.
we're seeing a shift now where we can have these silly gay rom-coms and
Mhm.
nobody gets hurt, and we have
Mm.
uh, gay love stories and nobody dies, and we have
Like Heartstopper. We love
yes, like
Heartstopper.
Heartstopper.
Yeah.
And we can have slapstick queer comedies where the stories are absolute, like National Lampoon road trip fraternity mayhem nonsense. And it's just a fun time. And there are no consequences. Maybe somebody gets expelled because they took a joke too far or something. Like that's the
And that could
consequence.
be happen in anything. That can happen in anything. So
Exactly, exactly. So I am seeing now more a shift towards that, thankfully. And that's not to say that the other queer stories are not important and they don't still need to be told, because there are still people that are heavily abused in the community, and there are still people that are not getting the medical treatment that they need. So those stories are relevant, but it's very comforting to see that there are other kinds of queer stories coming out, because we are, as I said earlier, multifaceted, multidimensional people, and we have more than one story to tell, and we just want people to see us as real people, as full, complete, well-rounded people.
yeah. One of those stories that you were talking about that they still need to be told, I think a good example of that is Fellow Travelers. Have you seen Fellow Travelers?
Yes,
That was brilliantly told, I think.
yes, yes, and it did end up still being kind of falling into the whole HIV/AIDS thing, but the way
Yes.
they told it was
Yes.
so dynamic, and
Yes.
it was much less about punishment for
Mm.
your actions and much more about love and acceptance.
And heartbreak. Oh my God.
Heartbreak,
Heartbreak.
absolute heartbreak, and like the
Yeah.
loss of romance and the
Mm.
loss of like the chance of a life with someone because of what society inflicted upon you. It was so well done, and both the actors are queer, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
I love that. I love that too. So
Yes,
yeah.
because usually in these huge gay blockbuster films uh, or series, they usually cast a big straight name to
Yeah.
play queer, just to draw in the queer, I mean, the straight audience, because they're like, oh, well, you know, Matthew McConaughey's in it, so all the women are going to want to come see it. Well, the women are going to
Yeah.
want to come see it anyway.
I mean,
Women
Jonathan
are
Bailey.
huge.
I mean, you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that the Travelers was fantastic. I cried so much.
Oh, me too. Yeah, me too. Okay. Um, all right. What is the funniest thing to ever happen to you on set?
I wanted to be sarcastic for a second
Yes. You can be
because
sarcastic.
it's not funny, but in retrospect, it was funny. I think you know where I'm going with this.
I do. I do.
um, I mean, well, can I say that that's the funniest thing? I don't know.
You can say it.
So I got my nose broken on set, which was shocking, in retrospect, kind of funny. Because how does that happen? How
Yeah.
does that... I also was trying to be so polite the entire time. So, okay, they were having trouble casting a role. The project was initially called The Amazing Secretary Riley, but when it came out, because a lot of times they switch the titles on these,
Yes,
on
they
the
do.
articles.
Yeah.
So the title ended up being My Boss Thinks I'm a Boy. Um, and they were having trouble casting this role. I had no idea that this was even happening. The night before, this casting director who I've worked with several times, calls me and it's like, I'm having a hard time casting this role. Um, it shoots tomorrow. Are you available? I was like, I am. And then she goes into explaining what the role is. The story is there's a BDSM section of the story. She's like, I figured I'd reach out to you because you seem to be pretty comfortable with most things. That's another story. But honestly, part of me didn't even want to do it. So I was like, I am available, but only if you can match this rate.
Yeah.
It did. And I was like, ah, damn. Okay. So I showed up on set. This all happened within 12 hours.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to read the whole script. I was told when I got on set that there would be a punch. I was like, oh, okay. I've done so many stunts in my
Yeah.
life, so many. So we rehearsed it once because everybody was kind of frantic. These are kind of frantic. They're 12-hour days. We shoot 14
Yeah.
pages. It's you got to shoot and go, shoot and go. So there's not a lot of time a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But I like to be very professional and I try to be very kind to everybody because you never know where your next job is coming from.
Mhm.
Um, so we rehearsed once. They were like, okay, great, rolling lights, action. And the other actor, instead of like, when you go to punch someone, you're supposed to go across because in the camera,
Yeah.
it just looks like you're punching. It was his first stunt ever, and he went straight
Oh.
forward into my nose.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh no, I just heard a big crack. And I was like, okay,
Oh.
I'm fine. Everybody's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And the one thing I hate when people like are like, oh my God, are you okay? As if like I'm causing a problem or I'm like delaying. So I got nervous and I'm like, I'm fine, I'm fine. And then my nose starts bleeding, like gushing.
Oh no.
I'm like, no, everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. They're like, oh no, we need paper towels. And I was like, no, no, it's not that bad. And then I look down and there's a pool of blood. And I'm like, oh, I need to sit down. And it's
No.
not because of this is the funny part. It's not because of the pain or anything. It's because the
Yeah.
sight of blood makes me queasy. So I
Oh,
looked down and
okay.
saw my own blood and was like, oh no, I'm gonna pass out.
Oh
So I
gosh.
sat down and they brought me like a bag of frozen soup to put on my face because there wasn't any ice and we're cleaning up the blood. I'm like, I'm fine. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm fine. They're like,
No.
okay. So it's just the amount of times I said I'm fine retrospectively. I clearly was not
And I know
fine.
that you finished the rest of your scenes before going to the hospital too.
I did. I
That's
did.
commitment.
I did. I was like, it'll be okay. I stopped. It took about 30 minutes to stop bleeding, but it did
Yeah.
stop. And I didn't see anything. So I was like, okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. And they're like, do you want to like, can you stay and finish? Can you blah, blah, blah? And I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine is going to be written on my tombstone. Uh, so I finished my scenes. Uh, and then I didn't even go to the ER at first. I went to the urgent care.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, yeah, you need to go to the ER. It's broken. I was like, oh no. And then I went to the ER. Got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's probably the funniest thing that's happened to me. That I was also in like a dog collar and like underwear and a bathrobe because I was
Oh.
playing like BDSM master or whatever. So it's just like picture someone in their underwear and a dog collar with their nose bleeding, just yelling, I'm fine. It was it was so I would say that's probably the funniest thing, but the definition of funny there is very loose.
Let's hope there's no behind the scenes photos of that.
I don't have a I have a right after the scenes photo of that. With the broken nose and the cast and the luckily I
Yeah.
didn't bruise because
Yes.
for some
Yeah.
reason I don't bruise. I like bump into corners and walls and all over my apartment and I never bruise.
Oh,
My
that's
partner,
lucky. Yeah.
yeah, my partner bruises like a peach. But
I hit my leg on my bed head, like my bed foot, and I same bruise there for like 3 months. It just didn't go away. So
yes, My
Yeah,
partner's the same way. I'm like, I will constantly, I'm like bumper cars in this apartment and I never bruise. So
very
luckily
lucky.
they didn't bruise. They did have to break it back into place. You get 5 to 7 days, by the way,
Oh,
after a broken nose to have it replaced, like put back
reset.
into supposed to
Yeah.
go reset. If not, then it's the swelling starts decreasing and it starts setting, and then you have to get a nose job apparently.
Oh, you,
Yeah. So luckily I didn't have to do that. Um,
yes, luckily.
yes, everything's okay. My nose is back in its proper place.
Good.